Torek woke with a jolt from a sleep he'd never meant to have. The fire had burned low. He crouched in the fragile shell of light and peered into the looming blackness of the forest. What's particularly good about the activities is that they don't spoil the flow of the story, so that they're nicely designed that you can carry on reading the book and just push in the activities, you know, here and there, but that they're still being able to keep the flow of the story and the energy.
The forest horses lay where the bear had tossed them into like broken playthings. No scavenger had dared feed on them. Not even the flies would touch them.
I think it's been particularly useful in how it's engaged a whole range of children who, you know, might not necessarily be interested in reading normally, but I think through the activities that they've been able to do with it, they've actually been able to access it in a way that they might not normally. In this chapter, I want you to pay particular attention to where any forest medicines are mentioned. And I want you to think about, when they're mentioned, what's their appearance? Does the author give a description? What kind of descriptive vocabulary does the author use to describe this medicine? And what is the benefit of it? And then what makes you think that it would be a thin bandage?
For it to be able to bandage, it has to be very thin, flexible.
Okay.
Yarrow leaves stop bleeding.
What have you found out about forest medicine? George?
Well, the dried willow bark or the birch bark, I can't remember, was bitter.
Okay, how do we know it was bitter?
So children have been really inspired by the activities. They particularly loved the Conscience Alley, and I think that was because the drama really captured their imagination, and they loved being empowered by helping Torak make a decision. And the children that actually played Torak found it really interesting listening to the different advice that the others were giving them. So that was really powerful.
I had to walk through and they were like whispering or some were shouting what to do to kill the cub or not kill the cub.
Okay, so second Torek, how do you feel?
Well, Edward and Lily, I don't know which one it was, but one of them made a really good point about if you don't do something about your father told you to go up to the mountain.
But they've also loved I think the description of the forest and exploring that through words, and created some wonderful word pictures and images of the forest.
It was a very thick forest and it had lots of trees in it, so we had to draw what we thought the forest looked like. I put my crackling leaves below the trees and ravenous wolves by one of my animals.
I use for the mountains, a dark, looming, shadowy mountain, towering over all those who see it.
Well, I like all the emotions in it and the description, and I think that's really good. And I also really like the cliffhangers of every chapter, because you really don't know what's coming.
The characters, I just think are amazing. They haven't gone over the top, but they are amazing characters.
I found it very interesting and intriguing.
I think it's been fabulous.
Oh.